Hello, my name is Steve Harden. I'm the CEO and founder of LifeWings, and this is another edition of the LifeWings Leadership Lab. Today we're going to answer the question, what is the difference between leadership and management? This is actually a really important question to answer because if you don't understand the difference between being a leader and being a manager, it's really going to be hard for you to be an effective leader in your organization. So again, today we're examining the question of what is the difference between leadership and management. This is really important for you to be an effective leader, to understand the difference between the two. If you're acting in the role of a manager, it's really going to be difficult for you to be an effective leader. And sometimes when you're acting in the role of a leader, it's difficult to be an effective manager. So if you really want to be an effective leader, you have to understand the difference between the two. So what is leadership? Leadership is, in its simplest terms, climbing to the top of the tallest tree in the organization and saying to the organization, I know we're here right now, but we really need to be over there. And so we've got to move from point A over here to point B because we can't stay where we are. If we're going to achieve our full potential as an organization, we really need to go over here to point B. So leadership is using your skills and abilities to paint a compelling vision of what point B is and then convincing the organization to take that journey with you. That's dramatically different than being a manager, right? A manager is concerned with doing the things that the organization is currently doing, only doing them better, right? Being more efficient, more effective, using fewer resources, and just doing the things that you're currently doing, but only doing them better, right? So you're essentially driving the ship in the same direction that it's going, and you're just making sure that the ship is moving efficiently through the water, right? A leader is driving the ship and saying, you know, the course we're on is not really going to get us where we need to go. We need to go over here. We need to change course, and I need you to take that journey with me, right? Now, these two roles are not mutually exclusive. To be a really effective actor within the organization, sometimes you need to be a great leader and sometimes you need to be a really good manager. But if you want to be a really effective leader, you really need to know the difference between the two. All right, so that's the difference between leadership and management, right? And this is the leadership lab. So we're really focused on how do you climb to the top of that tallest tree and say, I know we're here, but we need to go over there and I need you to take this journey with me. That's what the leadership lab is all about, right? So one of the key abilities you need to have when you're acting in your role as a leader is being able to paint a picture of the current state and contrast that with the desired future state. Okay, where is point B? Can you paint a compelling vision of point B? So I work with lots of leadership teams in healthcare, and typically how that conversation with leaders goes sounds something like this. They'll say, Steve, our current state is we've had a significant number of serious safety events. We're causing patient harm. We have a toxic culture. We have high turnover. We have very low culture of safety survey scores. Our patient experience scores are low. We can't stay here, right? So we need to change. And so then I'll ask them, well, what's your desired future state? And we will paint that compelling picture. So we want zero harm. We want zero serious safety events. We want to fix our toxic culture, and we're going to measure that by a decrease in turnover. So we want, nursing turnover of no more than 5 to 6%. We want to be in the top decile or the top quintile of safety climate survey scores, and we want to be in the top decile of patient experience. All right, so that is an example of painting the compelling vision for getting to point B. All right, so a huge part of what you're going to do as a leader is describe the current state and why you can't stay there, and then being able to paint a picture or describe the desired future state and describe it in such a way that people want to take the journey with you. That's a key function of leadership. And honestly, there's not a lot of folks that can do that. There are more folks that are effective managers than there are effective leaders. And if you can develop that skill to understand when you're on a burning platform and you have to get off of it and go someplace else, that's a really valuable skill. Now, I've worked with lots of leadership teams, and I can tell you that leadership teams typically fall into one of two categories. They either have faith that they can get to point B, this desired future state, or they collectively have a lot of fear that they're permanently mired in their current state and they'll never get to their future state, right? So both of these are emotions that are asking you to believe something about a future you haven't seen yet, right? So if you're going to believe something about a future you haven't seen yet, why not believe that you can get there? Why not have faith that you can make the journey to this future state and get your organization to point B? And quite frankly, there are a lot of folks that just don't believe that they can overcome the barriers to change in their organization, and that this particular change initiative, whatever it may be, will be no different from any other change initiative that they've ever had. And so they're mired in fear that the organization won't change. After 20 years of working with healthcare leadership teams, I can tell you that whatever you're focusing on, you will manifest. So if your focus is on fear that you can't overcome the barriers, you will not overcome the barriers. If you're focusing on faith that you can get to your future state and you will get the organization to point B, you will get there. The persistent focus on faith in the future, faith that you can overcome the barriers, will get you there. You manifest what you focus on. And quite frankly, I just don't think you can be an effective leader if you don't have the capability to believe in a future you haven't yet seen, right? If you can't believe in it, then you'll never get the rest of the organization to take the journey with you. So if you remember nothing else out of this particular edition of the Leadership Lab, you manifest what you focus on. All right, so persistent focus on the future, and if you do the right things in the right order, then you're going to get there. Now, how do you know you're going to get there, right? So this takes us to the last thing I want to cover today, and that is the key result. The only way you know that you're at your future state is when you have achieved your key result. And quite frankly, the problem with a lot of leadership teams and a lot of leaders is they have a really fuzzy picture of what point B looks like, and knowing when they actually have arrived at point B, right? So if you don't bring that into really sharp focus, and you don't have clarity and alignment among your team on when you've actually achieved your desired future state, people will lose interest. You won't know when you've got there, and you'll just wear yourself out, right? So your project, your initiative will end up being just another flavor of the month. So what I'd like to share with you is a way to measure your desired key result. So if part of your future state is I want to get to 0 serious safety events, then that's going to become the measure you use in your key results. So here's the formula that you would use to derive your key result. You're actually going to make a statement, and the statement says, we will do something. So this blank is going to be filled in by a verb. What is it that we're going to do? In this case, serious safety events is the what. So the verb here would be eliminate. And the what is serious safety events. So we will eliminate serious safety events from whatever your current state is, X, right? And we're going to move that to Y. So X is your current or your baseline state. Y is your future or desired state. So in this particular case, we might say, I want to go from 19 serious safety events, and I want to get to 0 serious safety events. When do you want to do that by? So down here we fill in this line, this blank with a date. So we want to do that by January 1st of next year. And where are we going to do that, and what service line? So in this case, we'll say our cardiovascular service line. All right, so when it's all done, it looks like this. We'll know we're at the future state when we've achieved this key result, when we've eliminated serious safety events, and we've gone from our current state of 19 to our future state of 0. We're going to do that by January 1st of next year, and we're going to do that in the cardiovascular service line. All right, so here's the action step for this particular leadership lab. I'd like for you to think about your current state, desired future state. Give some thought to what is the descriptor of where you want to take the particular organization in which you serve. And then go through the exercise of writing your key result. How would you know you're at the future state? So take this formula, and it will be in the post for this YouTube video, and just sit down and noodle with it a little bit. What do you want to do? Eliminate, increase, decrease? What is the measure that you want to do that to? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And when are you going to do it by, right? And by writing your key result in this way, you'll get a lot of clarity and a lot of alignment from the people who are taking the journey with you, and you'll all know when you've achieved your desired future state. Right, so just practice using this formula, and it's a great skill to be able to write a SMART goal, a key result that you can get clarity and alignment about. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, please share it, please like it. If you'd like to go deeper, go over to my blog on saferpatients.com, and you can read more about this particular tactic for designing your key result. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and until next time, I wish you the very best on your leadership.